Here to talk about a very important story, and it's that our nation's murder rate is spiking higher than it has in decades. So is this a coincidence? Our next guest blames the so-called Ferguson effect, among other things. The shooting of Michael Brown in August of 2014, the massive protest that followed, the spawning of the Black Lives Matter movement across this country and how people perceived what was going on out there. She claims it is all wrong. In the 12 months after Ferguson, murders in our largest cities spiked 17%. The surge was heavily concentrated in cities with large African-American populations. Those 10 cities saw a 33% increase in homicides. Her book is called The War on Cops, takes a closer look at the Ferguson effect and the impact on our communities. Heather McDonald is the author. She's also a senior fellow at the Manhattan Institute. Heather, welcome. Good to have you here. It's a fantastic book. I really urge everybody to pick it up and read it because it's about what's really going on in our inner cities. What's the Ferguson effect, and why do you think why do you argue that the administration wants to take everybody's eye off the ball of what's really happening to Black lives?
Well, the Ferguson effect is the twin phenomenon of officers backing off of proactive policing. That's pedestrian stops, low-level misdemeanor enforcement, under the onslaught of hatred that's been directed at them from the Black Lives Matter activists and the unfair criticism from the White House. And when cops back off, criminals become emboldened. So you have this double phenomenon, and as you say, Martha, we are in the midst of the largest crime spike that's practically unprecedented for 1 year. 17% is beyond thinking. If it had gone down 17%, everybody would be high-fiving each other. And the reason this is happening is nobody wants to look at the reality of inner-city crime.
And what is that reality?
Well, blacks commit homicide at 8 times the rate of whites and Hispanics combined. If you take out Hispanics, blacks commit homicide at about 11 to 12 times the rate of whites. And that results in a black death rate that is 6 times that of whites and Hispanics combined of homicides. Now, nobody wants to talk about the 6,000 blacks who are killed every year by other blacks. Let one police officer shoot somebody, usually because that person has resisted arrest, and the media is all over it. In fact, the media doesn't care about black lives because this weekend, every 43 minutes, somebody was shot in Chicago. Pedestrian stops by the police are down 90% there. When the cops back off, crime goes up.
You know, I've